There used to be, I believe, alewife in the Bronx River. It turns out that in all the years of sampling the Bronx River, we never found alewife at all. And I speculated that the main reason that alewife was not in the Bronx River was because in the 1600s, when Jonas Bronk came to this area and built a dam across the Bronx River, which is roughly at the same site of the dam now at 181st Street, the southern end of the Bronx Zoo, that effectively stopped the upward migration of spawning fish. These animals, again, are anadromous. They live in the ocean, swim up freshwater streams, and then spawn. If you block that, after many, many years, they just stop coming into that river because there's no longer any latent animals to come back to the system. So an arrangement was made in which we were able to get 200 animals from a spawning run in Connecticut, Bridesboro, Connecticut. They were trucked down to the Bronx River in 2006, and they were put into the Bronx River above the first dam. The question was, are these fish going to instantly die? And obviously, I didn't think so, and convinced people that they wouldn't, so they went along with the experiment, and they didn't die. If you have a successful spawn, and the animal, the result of the spawn in that first summer reaches a juvenile stage, of about an inch or two, they uniquely pop. And that is, if you're looking at the surface of the water like this, they'll shoot up. And what they are doing is shooting up for insects. So as we were told by the specialists in Connecticut, if you see popping, you're golden. It means you had a successful spawn. And sure enough, popping was observed. We actually would count the number of pops per hour and see what happened. At the end of that summer, roughly around the end of August, the spawn washes out over the dams and travels downriver through the estuary and out to sea. The spawning adults have gone out earlier. We have never in all that time seen a dead animal. So nothing apparently died, or if one did, it got eaten by a bird so fast that no one ever saw it. But the adults went back out and the juveniles went back out. Now you have to think of the vagaries of a young fish traveling from the waters of New York through the lower harbor out to the ocean and disappearing God knows where for 2 or 3 years until it's an adult, and then will begin to come back and scent its native stream and run back up. So this was an interesting experiment. We didn't know what the result would be. In the next year, we were fortunate and we were able to restock, this time 400 animals. And again, the numbers are important because we're stocking roughly an equal number of males and females. We're hoping to get lots and lots of offspring, and typically the mortality is about 90%. So if you get a 10% survival from the hatch, and then a 10% survival of that to move out to sea, you're talking about getting a few animals back, a few adults. Well, the idea was that 3 years after the first spawn, which was 2, 6, 7, 8, and 9, we would see if we were getting any returns. And so some herrings were caught. One died. I said, I'd take the dead one. You release all the others and take the nets out, because if it's our herring, we've already proved our experiment. So I brought them back to the lab. It happened to be a female. I opened it up. It was a gravid female, which means that it was a spawning adult. And then I aged it, and I aged it with a scale, and I have a scale image which shows that it's exactly 3 years old, which means I'm claiming it. It's one of mine. It's the right age. It's the right sex. It increases the biodiversity. The spawn serve as food for birds. And in fact, these are edible fish, so that they can be part of an artisanal recreational fishery which can be consumed. They're coming from clean seas, and there's no major contamination. We don't have a PCB problem or a dioxane problem in the Bronx River, so that this is potentially a win-win situation for everybody.